We are listening and talking to Dave Taylor, who is, I would have to say, one of the most popular drummers in the Detroit area. And you would be what I would term as a utilitarian, in that you can play just about any percussive instrument, including for classical, including for jazz, including for country, including for, well, the list goes on and on and on. I mean, it never stops. So you've been doing this for a long time, and you've been in and out of our studio for a long time, for at least 25 years now. And I also have noticed in one of these photos that we have that you're standing there with Buddy Rich, and you're how old now? 7?
In that picture, yeah, I am 7 years old.
Yeah.
That was the first time my father took me to go see Buddy Rich, and went to Windsor, the Top Hat Supper Club, and
how cool
my
is
dad
that?
made it a point to track him down in between one of the sets. And
yeah, very, very cool. Who are some of the name artists that you've worked for?
Very many through collaborations with artists in town, like Johnny Trudell.
Right.
I got to work with many, many different acts.
You mentioned the three tenors.
That was definitely a memorable one. We did the three tenors. It was Pavarotti, Carreras, and Domingo.
Who would you say now, through these periods of time, has inspired Dave Taylor with drumming?
The first biggie was really Peter Erskine. I really saw him as the kind of what you described.
Yeah.
You got to be able to kind of do everything and do it right so that everybody's happy.
Yeah.
And that was, his philosophy was just so about consistency and being solid. And then, of course, he has the artistic side, but I really latched onto that, so try to gobble up everything that he played on.
Right. I know you worked with Aretha Franklin.
Fortunately, many times, of course, from her being here, and but one gig in particular, it makes me laugh every time I think about it, because was just kind of hanging out, and sometimes Aretha rehearsals will start late, and so we're all just kind of hanging out, and I'm seeing this guy walk around with a stick bag, and I went over to Larry Fratangelo, my friend, who was playing congas and stuff with her. Yeah, wonderful. I studied with Larry too for a little bit. And I went, Larry, that looks like Steve Jordan. He goes, it's because it is Steve Jordan.
Wow.
Cool. I'll kind of demonstrate sort of the evolution of how somebody might go through the steps of acquiring that coordination that ultimately gets us to playing the whole kit. Let's see. Just some snare drum to begin with. So we can do our basic. Some of our basic patterns.
What do you call that pattern?
Oh, okay. The first pattern I was doing, and the second actually were singles. As we were going, one stroke at a time. And then when I went into that faster thing, we actually call those doubles, or double stroke rolls. So we're.
Okay.
And so if getting into the drum set, more than likely the bass drum would be the first thing. That's our right foot over here. And we would pick a pattern that's just like tapping your foot to music. So once that's rolling, just to see if that can line up. Next thing we might want to add is the hi-hat with that. So right now, I'll just have them do the same things, both keeping time. Now, later, it will get more advanced, might be something different, but for now, we'll just have them striking at the same time. And you see how March things work very well with just getting the feet sort of going.
Right.
Once the feet are sort of going, it's probably time to start getting into patterns, and some kids will just jump right to this part, which is fine too if they hear it. But our most basic pattern, and I love it. Robert Ty, I believe, the guitarist, coined this phrase. But the big dumb guy beat, the beat we all use on that rock and roll song, and it sounds like this. We've all heard that. It's made up of only 3 parts, fortunately. Just has to stay. So that's our kind of basic pattern, and that can actually get you through a lot of the pop music. But obviously, you don't want to stop there. Typically, at this point, I'll make sure that my students are counting each beat, and if they're not reading, even I'll still have them count each beat. In this case, I'd probably have them start by counting the eighth notes, so making sure they can go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and once you can coordinate the brain to actually speak those syllables, it'll allow you to start doing more variations.
Do you have them actually count out loud like that?
Absolutely.
And that's important.
Absolutely.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. If you enjoy our content, please comment, like, subscribe, whatever. I'd love to hear from you. Check out danyessian.com for all the latest content and information. Ciao for now.